Hey there, my name is Dirk, and I am here to talk to you about Vinyl Tag 2021. Got a lot of records to go through, so let's get right to it. First one is a discovery in 2020. It's one I'd never heard of before. I got Dave to thank at the In Groove in Phoenix. This was in his list of analog albums you gotta have. Turns out I had to have it. It's the Isao Suzuki Trio / Quartet. Blow Up is the album. It's sorry about the reflection on there. It's an Impex title. Originally, Three Blind Mice. This thing is awesome. 45 RPM. It is kind of unusual in that it's got two bass players, although one of the bass players sometimes plays cello, but it's a really fantastic album. The track, the title track, Blow Up, is just crushing. So good. A Quarantine Buy. This is one that I've been looking for a while. It was one I never knew why I couldn't find it in a streaming service. As it turns out, it was because it has so many samples on it, and it was before anybody really figured out how to deal with samples in an album. And this album is like all samples. It's De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. It's an album I listened to in college a lot and just love it. An LP you want to find in 2021. This is one that I would love to see a reissue of it in a somewhat reasonable price range. Mobile fidelity, it would be awesome. Maybe Speaker's Corner. I don't know who's got the rights to Riverside, but Sunday at the Village Vanguard, Bill Evans. There needs to be a new release of that is available in a good quality audiophile pressing. Box set. Got the Jimi Hendrix Experience box set. It is pretty extensive. It's got eight discs in it. Pretty much a retrospective of their entire discography. Although it's not actually like albums. It's set up. It's just set up as individual songs that are kind of cherry picked, but it's got some great stuff. Concept album. This was a record store day album. Picked it up actually the following record store day, so I don't think it was very well received in the general public, but it's The Raven by Lou Reed, and it is Edgar Allan Poe stories, some of which are interpreted in music and some are actually read. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of a lot. It's three discs, so it kind of goes on for a while, but it's sort of interesting. It is not Transformer, that's for sure. An album where an artist or a band changed directions. This is one I picked up when I was in grade school. Giles Band, Freeze Frame. There we go. Kind kind of a fun album. Pretty poppy compared to some of their earlier stuff, which is just like honky-tonk rhythm and blues. This one's a little more commercial, but you know, it's a pretty good album. I really still enjoy listening to it. It's got some classics, at least from my childhood. White label promo. I think I only have one actual white label. I might have two. One of them's just a single though. So this is from Sam Records. This is Live in Paris with Nathan Davis. This is a phenomenal album. This also happens to have three records. It's pretty much really difficult to get now, but I picked it up after they had sold out of their numbered editions, and all they had left was promo editions, and I was like, well, that's fine with me. So here's the if you want to get a glimpse of the white label. There's the, let's see if that focuses, I don't know, maybe sort of. Anyway, I'll be honest, I was not familiar with Nathan Davis, and I kind of took a risk on it, but man, it was not a risk. It's fantastic. All right. Compilation album. This is the Columbia Jazz Festival. I'm not really certain that it's a compilation as much as it is. Well, I don't know if it was a jazz festival, I should say, even though it's called the Columbia Jazz Festival. I think they just put together a bunch of tracks from popular artists by Columbia. It's got some good stuff on it though. We've got Duke Ellington, we got Jerry Mulligan Quartet, Lionel Hampton, Teddy Wilson and his trio, Joe Wilder Quartet, Benny Goodman and his orchestra, Miles Davis, Dave Brubeck, Buck Clayton with his All-Stars, and J.J. Johnson. Pretty easy album to get if you are interested. An album that tells a story. Well, I guess they all tell some kind of story. This one's pretty obviously telling a story though. And that is The Wall by Pink Floyd. One of my albums from my high school days. Still never fails to be an awesome album though. Kind of pretty troubling though. It's pretty sad. The whole story. Disturbing is maybe a better word. And poignant maybe as well. An album that needs a vinyl pressing. Wow, there's a lot of them. I would love to see. There's a Mozart album. There's a quartet called Quattro Mosaics, which is probably an obliteration of their name. They were only available on CD, and this was probably like later 90s. You'd see them in stereophile, like Records to Die For, and picked one of their CDs up back then, and just it really is fantastic. But I'd love to see it on vinyl. common album and an uncommon album. Well, here's one you see in every record bin, in every record store across the country, and that's, of course, Herb Alpert. It's Tijuana Brass. Yeah, pretty iconic album cover, but you know, when you're in the right mood, it's actually kind of fun to listen to, but pretty cheesy too. And then a uncommon album, less common anyway, unless you're really into reggae. But it's a Disco 45 of Punky Reggae Party, Bob Marley, Lee Scratch Perry as well. It is pretty awesome. 45 RPM, 12-inch with sort of a straight version on one side and a dub version on the other. If you ever see a copy, I wouldn't hesitate to pick it up if it's in decent shape, because it's pretty awesome. An EP. I don't really have too many EPs, depending on your definition of EP. But here's this is Soft Cell. It's Tainted Love / Where Did Our Love Go on one side, and then the other side is Memorabilia and Tainted Dub. It's 45 RPM, I believe. But another blast from my past, from high school times. Let's see, a girl group. Well, it's a girl group by default. I don't have too many girl group albums. Not for any real reason. I just don't happen to have too many. But this is a girl group just because there's only one person in the band and she's a girl. Versus, like, I have a whole lot of albums that are, you know, jazz singers, vocalists that are backed by a band. But I don't know if I call that a girl group so much as a main performer who's a woman. So this is Michelle Shock, Campfire tapes. I actually had this as a cassette tape originally, and I really loved it. It's just her around a campfire with a guitar and singing, and she was recording it on a Sony Walkman. And it's really, really great album. An album cover that you love. Well, I got a couple. I mean, I love lots of album covers. I'm a graphic artist, so and a photographer, so a lot of the cover art I just love, but some of them stand out. I really like this one. It's called Braff. It's Ruby Braff. He's a trumpet player. Just looks so much like a Norman Rockwell painting to me, but pretty awesome. Just nice black and white photography. Really kind of quirky image. And then another one that I really like. It's a riff on The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Not only do I like this cover, but I love this album. It's 10cc, Deceptive Bends. If you don't believe me about The Creature from the Black Lagoon, just Google it. You find like that exact picture, except for, you know, it's like a scaly creature carrying a woman. An album you've listened to the most. Well, I've got enough albums and I love them all, so I can't say I listen to any one particularly the most. But one I reach for all the time, one of my very favorite albums of one of my very favorite artists, is Maiden Voyage by Herbie Hancock. I just, you know, I've got a lot of his albums. This one still stands out to me as one I really like. Album you had to get an OG copy of. Well, obvious perhaps, but had to get original 1959 6 Eye of Miles Davis, Kinda Blue. And it is just, you know, as often as it's brought up in audiophile circles and how, you know, I still freaking love it. It's just such a great album. Last album you purchased. Well, these are the last ones that I purchased. I got them all at the same time. Now, I just got my one step of Stevie Ray Vaughan, Couldn't Stand the Weather, and just listened to it like a half hour ago, and it is awesome. I thought I liked Texas Flood the best. Starting to doubt that. This thing is just ripping. It is so good. But the most recent one I pre-ordered. That was like ordered in October or something. So these are ones I actually just bought. So we got Prairie Meetin', Jimmy Smith, and Stanley Turrentine. If you like B3 organ, don't hesitate. That album is really awesome. Introducing Kenny Burrell, another tone poet. It's I don't think it's really his first album. I don't even know if it's his first Blue Note album. It's his first one where he's kind of in charge, though. But man, is this a good album? It's not like late. It's 1956. Candido playing congas and bongos. Man, it's got such a great backing percussion. Really fun album. Joe Henderson, In and Out. And I'll figure out this camera one of these days. That's one of the 80th anniversary reissues. Picked up three albums from one of my favorite bands, Beastie Boys. Here's the mix-up, instrumental album. Hello, Nasty. This is turning out to possibly be, oh man, it's hard to say. I'm really digging this album. This is one of my, of the Beastie Boys, this might be bumping over Paul's Boutique a little bit, as much as Paul's Boutique is just iconic. Really dig this album. And then this one, I felt like when it came out, they kind of were getting back to their roots. Hot Sauce Committee, Part 2. Cool kind of Mondrianish sort of a cover on there. But yeah, that's a really fun album that, like I said, I feel like they kind of got back to the roots a little bit. An album they don't get. I don't even know if I get this one. I haven't listened to it yet. Because problem is you need 4 record players to play it. Now, this is an album by the Flaming Lips called Zerika. And I'd been wanting this album for a long time. Just when I heard about it, I was like, holy crap, I gotta have that. They created this album, the idea being you'd get 4 record players. It's got 4 discs. And you would drop the needle on all 4 records in different locations in the building at the same time. I don't know if they're the exact same album on all four of them, and you're just listening to it in like sort of de facto quadraphonic sound or what, but the concept of it I thought was kind of interesting. I guess this could have been in the concept category as well. And then the last one, punk album, or the closest thing you have to it. I think this qualifies as punk. Never mind the Bullocks. Best of the Sex Pistols. Here's the Sex Pistols, sorry. This is one I listened to in high school a lot as well. Just found this in a record store a couple months ago. Pretty stoked to find that in really good shape. Anyway, those are my Vinyl Tag 2021 picks. I've been enjoying watching everybody else's. Hope you liked seeing some of these, and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.